good morning, everybody, or good day, I should say, because it's even my special guest on the screen. You can see I'm here with Jude Currivan. Hooray! A fantastic program in store. And what time of day is it over there where you live, Jude? And where are you coming in from?
It's tea time, Steve. But then in Britain, every moment is tea time. But it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. I'm Steve Farrell. I'm a co-founder of Humanity's Team. I'm coming to you live from Boulder, Colorado. And hey, big shout out now to Jude Currivan's friends, Whole World View, all of the organizations and people that follow her books, her public speaking, etc. Big shout out to all of you. Also to our Humanity's Stream Plus members who are here in the green room with us. Some of them may come on camera later. Humanity's Team members on the Sign Network and John Raymer, who are broadcasting out all over the world. So shout out to all of you. Thanks for being here. As always, this is a live program. So the earlier in the program you bring your comments and suggestions to us, the better. I'll get them to Jude here before the hour is over. Jude does have a program at the end of the hour, so we're going to stop right there just maybe a minute before so she can make her other program. We've got a big viewing audience here in the green room with Humanity's Stream Plus members. I can see them all on the screen. So just wave to all of them. Thank you all for being here and joining us. Always a real pleasure. Okay, so our theme today is embodying higher consciousness. And actually, this is a big, important theme. We're even going to announce for the very first time on this program a program that we'll be unveiling in the coming days with that exact name, Embodying Higher Consciousness. So that, of course, to conscious viewers is going to be a very exciting theme. Let me give Jude a proper introduction here as we get started. Dr. Jude Currivan is a cosmologist, planetary healer, futurist, and author at the forefront of exploring humanity's extraordinary evolutionary potential. Jude integrates leading-edge science, consciousness research, and universal wisdom teachings to create a holistic worldview. Her work aims to enable transformational and emergent resolutions to our collective planetary issues, raising awareness and empowering fundamental change and sustainable solutions to global problems. Today, Jude is joining me to discuss embodying higher consciousness and the pivotal role of conscious living in creating a sustainable and flourishing future. We'll also have a super rare sneak peek at these incredible new programs we're unveiling just in the coming days. We've never done this before. We always wait until the unveil to talk about a program. We're going to talk about 2 programs here in just a few minutes that we haven't even unveiled yet, so get ready. So Jude, thank you for coming to me at tea time in Britain. Geez, you know, you had to give up tea time to be here live with me today, so I really appreciate it, and I'm so looking forward to these topics we're going to jump in and start discussing. Oops, okay, now this is a live program, so there are going to be some tech issues. We did just lose. There we go. Audio's back. Okay, we can hear you now, Jude.
I had mic mass panic then when I couldn't unmute myself. It's just a joy. It's always a joy to be with Humanity's Team and this incredible community, you know, this growing conscious community. And we were just talking, guys, before we came on air, what we feel is going to be an incredibly exciting year for us all in terms of linking up and lifting up together and moving forward together. So, Steve, thank you again.
Oh, gosh, my pleasure. Yes, in 2023, this is a big, big year for us. And maybe viewers, you can feel this too. There's a lot happening right now when we talk about the conscious journey. We've mentioned before this whole unitive narrative that an organization that Jude and I belong to called Evolutionary Leaders is embraced with hundreds and hundreds of leaders all over the world. Jude actually was one of the architects of the unitive narrative, and this is all, of course, Humanity's Team when launched in 2003. We are all one. This was the big announcement, and we created a Global Oneness Summit. And so we are, and this is just one thing. We could actually speak to other evidence of this wave that's coming in, this conscious wave. And none too soon, because we can see extreme weather and other things going on out in the world, and this is really our moment to pivot into this whole new way of living consciously. So With that said, let's jump into this. I was sharing how excited we are, Jude, with this unbelievable new program. It hasn't even been unveiled. We'll unveil it in coming days. It's called Embodying Higher Consciousness, a new way of living on the earth. It's a free 60-minute program. It's with Jude Currivan and Andrew Harvey. I'm the host of the program. And wow, our team, I was sharing with Jude, only halfway being facetious. They are swinging from the rafters in this program. The energy, oh my God, that Jude and Andrew bring to this program as they're talking about embodying higher consciousness, its importance, bringing tools to people. It's a free program, is astounding. So we're going to go, actually, in fact, let's do this. Let's go look at a clip real quick from the program, and then Jude and I are going to come back and talk about this program. So here we go.
Well, I just ask us to consider a river. You know, a river flows from the highlands to the sea. If we go into a river, we can either swim against its flow or we can swim with its flow. And it seems to me that as a species, we've been pretty hard swimming against the flow of our planetary home and the entire cosmos for quite a long time. And it's very easy, actually, to just turn around and choose to go with the flow of life itself. So when I speak of aligning with our planetary home, I'm actually even larger than that, because we now know that our universe exists and evolves as a unified entity. It meaningfully exists to purposefully evolve from simplicity to complexity. So we're part of that process. The universe's evolutionary impulse is flowing through us. And if we open ourselves joyously to enable that to happen, we can literally consciously evolve to be conscious co-evolutionary partners with the evolutionary impulse of our planetary home Gaia and our entire universe. That's what I mean, to align, attune and align. And what a wonderful time. And I'm so thrilled to be with Andrew and all of us together, because Andrew's in wisdom is so profound in this process of literally turning around and waking up and healing and going through this emergent birth canal of a new humanity and the sacred journey to our conscious evolution.
Okay, and I love that metaphor you're bringing in, a river and this notion of flow, because boy, it's hard not to grasp what you're talking about here, huh, Jude?
Absolutely. There's an ancient wisdom teaching that says, don't try and hold on to the banks. And often we sort of cling on to the banks.
Right.
And now, we are all in the river, whether we are aware of it or not, whether we like it or not. And in my experience, literally going with the flow of it, this is the universe flowing through us. This is the invitation of the universe to show up and be, consciously embody ourselves as its microcosmic co-creators, to wake up, to realize, to remember that we are inseparable from its evolutionary impulse and flow. And, I tell the story sometimes of my own life where I've hung on so much to what no longer serves me that I've only let go when the pain of holding on is worse than the pain of letting go. And when I've let go, the universe has met me, held me, nurtured me, guided me, invited me into this incredible and ongoing flow, this journey of our conscious evolution. And so I'm just delighted to all be here together. And I hope for all of us on this call and listening to us are open, heart open, to answering the invitational call of this evolutionary journey.
Yes, so important. And we were sharing here that this pivot into this shift is happening. And of course, that's why viewers are here. We're on the conscious journey, but we're also all deepening ourselves into this journey. There's no end here to this journey. There's no there. It's a constant journey. There's a constant deepening. And the beautiful thing about this moment is your book, which we'll talk about in a second, and this free program, a masterclass that follows that we'll talk about here in a moment. These are all just sharing the science, the research, and these key themes that you're bringing in here right now, that we are a part of this universal unfolding, and it started with a big breath, not a big bang, that the cosmos is in harmony, that it's non-dual. And as we know, we talk about on this program, there are other scientists, Nassim Harriman and Greg Braden and Lynn McTaggart and Dean Radin and, my God, on, Eben Alexander. There are many other scientists, ions, who's made it their work, right? To bring in this research that shares that we can walk with incredible posture, knowing, my God, we're an inseparable part of the cosmos. The cosmos couldn't be without us. We're actually here with our own diversity, our own gift, our own things that we're to bring into this life that are supporting life around us. I love, people often share what you were just bringing in here that's so important too, Jude, that sometimes, pain pulls us until we finally get to a place where we release and let go, and then we go into the flow, and then we go, why was I holding on to that bank in the first place? How was that serving me?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we have these comfort blankets of pain. It's what we're familiar with. It's what we're familiar with. And yet I think the more of us that can sort of go with the flow in this way, the more we can share, not impose in any way, but share and invite others to join this incredible journey of conscious evolution. And this is where we're on. This is the journey we're all on. But I think the other thing that you mentioned, Steve, is really key. This scientific evidence is no longer an outlier. More and more and more evidence is coming forward now that really does ground us. It's showing that unity is not an ideal. As I think our mutual dear friend, Dr. Julie Kroll, said, it's real. It's our existential reality. And so the more that we can breathe into that awareness, the more we can breathe into, as you say, it's unity expressed in diversity. When I do that, and when I have done that over many years, something even deeper has happened. I've found that I've moved from a sense of unity expressed in diversity to unity expressed as inclusion. And then I've settled deeper and deeper and deeper into a felt sense of belonging, that I don't need to ask anybody's permission, that I belong. I'm a co-creator. I'm a microcosmic co-creator of our entire universe's unfolding flow, and I belong. And what I'm sensing is that the more we share this understanding, the more we can invite experience of it, the more we can actually all of us settle into that knowing that we belong with each other, with our beloved planetary home guide, and the whole world. And belonging for me is just such a deep, deep, deep sense of wholeness and joy.
Yes.
And gratitude.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it is. And gratitude and belonging and peace and grace and blessing, and where we know that we are inseparable. And then as we do this, as we know, what was also shared by many is, and then we become this light worker that we desire to be, where there's this whole veil, right, on the other side. Humanities Team has these programs, many of them with mediums, talented mediums and things, about the lifting of the veil. And that there's unbelievable support right now on the other side of the veil that's supporting this shift, this pivot into conscious living. And where we do what Jude is describing and settle into this place of knowing and of belonging and of real gratitude for being here in service, then these afterlife forces can work through us. We can actually become a healer and an alchemist. This is what this whole process of conscious living is, where we're feeling into a future that we're actually creating. That we actually are real healers, real alchemists, where we know ourselves to be that, right? It's all, our minds are controlling everything. And where our minds can settle there, we can be incredibly powerful in our homes, but more than our homes, in the whole world, as we put our mind to the Ukraine, as we put our mind to this planet that needs our attention, etc. So, and and just the one other thing I was going to say, existential reality, of course, that means ultimate reality, right? So, and this is the thing where I look back to my early years, where I wasn't necessarily considering all of these conscious kinds of considerations. So we were actually living in this whole Einstein thing about this optical delusion, right? Where everything appears separate. Our ultimate reality is it is separate. It's separate. You know, these people are separate. The divine is separate. The earth is separate. We're living in a reality of separation. And oh my God! Now contrast that to what Jude is talking about in this place of belonging, where we're living into the true ultimate reality, not a optical delusion. It's huge.
It is huge. And Steve, you mentioned there about, you know, the communications with consciousness, with folks and consciousness that have transitioned, that have passed over. And for me, the sort of the illusion of separation, one of the deepest traumas of that is the fear of death. And when we realize that the sort of the end of our earth walk is not the end of us, is not the end of our consciousness, and we have so much evidence for that, that you know, shows us that our loved ones, love doesn't die. That when we pass over, our consciousness remains. And, you know, my experience over nearly 70 years of, my mum used to say I'd talk with anybody. She didn't really know exactly who I was talking with. But it involved a lot of folks who passed, but it also involved many, many different levels of multidimensional consciousness. So we're not just now realizing that we can continue to communicate with folks who have passed over, but we can also now naturalize the multidimensional communications, which can offer us such incredible wisdom and guidance, whether it be angels, elemental or devic realms, extraterrestrials, archetypal, you know, ascended masters, whatever it may be. And I've been fortunate enough, never in my life experience, to be shut down from those incredibly enriching conversations and guidance. And it seems to me now that, and with the evidence we have that's converging with universal wisdom teachings, indigenous wisdom teachings, it's giving us the grounding, it's giving us the underpinning. If we choose to open ourselves up, to invite us into this much grander, you know, multidimensional community of life, of consciousness, that is the story of our universe and is the story of us.
Yes, I mean, so very important. And right now, you know, we're unveiling just in days, Embodying Higher Consciousness. The program that we're actually in right this moment in Humanities Team is this whole program called Cosmic Forces, Creating a Whole New Future. It's with Suzanne Giesman and Patricia Cota-Robles, and it's doing exactly this, where they're taking you through the steps to lift the veil and to be in touch with loved ones, with the divine, with archangels, angels, with all of these other realms that are here at our disposal. Instead of just walking around, choosing our path on our own, we've got these resources. They're here. We actually all have guides, is what they share. And there's a fairly simple process that we can learn in our meditation and prayer to connect with those guides, with the afterlife. It's an unbelievably powerful program. If you haven't spent any time with Cosmic Forces, Creating a Whole New Future, you really want to do that because the tools here are enormous for this whole conscious journey. We were never intended to just live on this side of the veil. The veil was intended to be lifted, and that's another thing that's exciting. There's so many developments on this front. Wayne Dyer, that he's all these things that are happening in the afterlife. His own kids that are coming on another program of ours, Life After Death, with the Dyer kids, Sage and Serena's two younger daughters, also Karen Noe, a very talented medium, where they're sharing, again, bringing in a very specific example of Wayne Dyer that wrote a book through Karen Noe. And its first and most important message, the unitive narrative, we are all one.
Absolutely.
So, this shift, when we're talking about coming into 2023, and it really, it feels good and there's a lot happening. We're not kidding, are we here, Jude?
We're certainly not kidding. and it's such a joyous journey. This is what I'm so excited about. I know when Andrew and I got together with Steve that you're mentioning, our joy, I think, spilled over because we're so excited to be sharing this with everyone. And we're so excited for everyone who is, as so many of us are, waking up to remember we're inseparable. And then what? Because now what is we can link up and lift up together. I know for many folks, it can be a lonely journey. It doesn't need to be that anymore. In fact, the universe is inviting us and saying, join the party, welcome, because this is such an incredible moment of transformational change. It's challenges. It's got many, many challenges. But if we can consider it rather more than, instead of a crisis, a metamorphosis, a transformation in us personally and us collectively, in our relationships with ourselves, each other, Gaia, the whole world. I mean, what a moment. What an incredible opportunity, and what an amazing invitation.
Yes, boy, this brings to mind Barbara Marx Hubbard, our crisis is a birth. We're birthing this whole new understanding that where there's one consciousness and we're all a beautiful lens. There are 8 billion of us here on the earth that are our own frame, our own lens, our own diversity, our own participation in that one consciousness. Yes, and it's beautiful where we turn it around and see this age of consciousness which is what this is. It's no longer the information age. That was long past. Now it's the age of consciousness, where we're really understanding, and through quantum physics, where the Nobel Prize is given to scientists based on entanglement, that's a stepping stone in the direction of this whole unitive narrative and oneness thing that we're talking about. Okay, let's shift gears and go now. So Andrew and Jude, their program called Embodying Higher Consciousness, A New Way of Living on the Earth. It's a free program. It's amazing. Stay tuned on social media and an email. You're going to see a lot about this new free program just in the coming days. Now, for people then that want to go deeper, there's a masterclass they created, a 16-module masterclass. It's called Sacred Journey of Conscious Evolution, Regenerating Yourself and the World Through Science and Divinity. This is the very first time that we've announced this program. So the unveiling, hooray! Quite a moment, huh, Jude? And what a blast creating this with you and Andrew, where you all were distilling your wisdom down, and there's so much of it. Andrew Harvey is just like Jude Currivan. He's astounding. First time we've done a masterclass with Andrew Harvey. So that also is a very exciting enterprise, is it not, Jude?
It surely is. I mean, for those of you who don't know Andrew, he's the most incredible force of nature. He's just extraordinary. And his wisdom is very, very profound, because not only does he have very deep understanding of the unified nature of reality, but also the experiential and the embodiment of that. And what he speaks to is a very human journey. He's a great scholar. He's a great student of Rumi. And of course, Rumi, perhaps more than any other poet that I'm aware of, really lived his truth and really lived this understanding of what we go through as human beings. where we're participants in life with all that life brings. So I was just delighted to be invited along with Andrew to sort of, really come together and show how this convergence of science and spirituality is also offering us a path, a journey of regeneration. You mentioned birth earlier on, and Barbara's perspective of this being a birth process. Well, this is exactly how Andrew and I would both see it as well.
Yeah, and what an amazing program. Let's go take a look. We've got a 2-minute clip here from this new masterclass, Sacred Journey of Conscious Evolution. Let's go take a look, and then Jude and I will come back and talk some more about it.
Leading edge scientific discoveries and breakthroughs are revealing evidence at all scales of existence, from the most minute to the mightiest scale of our entire universe, and across many different fields of research, not just of what we might refer to as the natural world, such as cosmology and planetary science, down to the smallest atomic scales and quantum scales, but also research into complex systems, including human collective behaviors, are turning the old paradigm of science, of a material universe, a universe of separation, on its head. The old paradigm is one that tells us that our universe began 13.8 billion years ago in the implied chaos of a Big Bang, that since then its evolutionary journey has continued almost randomly, accidentally, and with lack of meaning and no inherent purpose to its existence and evolution. And a worldview that also shares that consciousness is something that gradually and almost again accidentally arises when a certain level of complexity is reached, and with consciousness and mind arising from materiality. This is the worldview that we've been born into. This is the worldview that most, if not all of us, are taught at school. And this worldview is now being seen as being fundamentally flawed. And it's not to blame, it's not to go back and say we should have thought this or that should have happened. We've come a long way in our story as human beings, as a human species. And along that way, we've taken routes that have enabled us to see deeper and further out into the world progressively than before. And yet along the way, sometimes our deeper wisdom, an inherent wisdom that in our hearts has known that we're not separate, nonetheless has been peripheralized from that leading edge of science with all good intention to delve deeper into the nature of reality itself.
Okay, yeah, and so next week is the unveiling of these 2 programs, the free program, Embodying Higher Consciousness, a New Way of Living on the Earth, with Jude Currivan, Andrew Harvey, and then the 16-module masterclass, Sacred Journey of Conscious Evolution, Regenerating Yourself and the World Through Science and Divinity. So look for that next week. So very exciting. And Jude, since we're kind of putting presents on the table here, let's put another gift on the table. You created with us also another brand new 16-module masterclass. It's called Our Conscious Revolution. And there's kind of a play on words there in the revolution, Our Conscious Revolution. So let's talk a little bit about that too, where you wanted to go deeper and kind of further. And this 16-module program is on the Humanity Stream platform today. And in fact, if you go to Humanity Stream Plus, so go to humanitiesteam.org and scroll down, go over to the Humanity Stream Plus platform. When you go to search there on the platform for Jude Currivan, you'll see there are 29 programs there for Jude. Now, 16 of those programs are this Our Conscious Revolution, and the first module is always unlocked. So you can actually go right now to Humanity Stream Plus. In fact, I invite you to do it. Go to the search function, type in Jude Currivan. It'll bring up her 29 modules, and you'll see her 16 module masterclass called Our Conscious Revolution. And go to the module 1, click on it. It's unlocked, and you can watch the whole thing for free. And we've got Stream Plus members here in the green room with us. You can watch the whole 16 module program now for free. So check it out. But so Jude, let's talk about this gift here too. This was quite an enterprise.
It was quite an enterprise, Steve, and I love doing it. And just to say that the program with Andrew is mainly myself, sharing these understandings directly with the camera. But I felt that with our conscious revolution, empowering our transformational journey to whole being, so beyond well-being into whole being and belonging, that it benefited from some really enriching visuals. So a lot of those 16 modules have some beautiful visuals to accompany them. So, we can really connect with this message. And I really invite everyone to sort of sense they're participating in this journey, this transformational journey to who we really are and who we can consciously evolve to become. So what I did is I set up the 16 modules in 4 parts that are complementary, but perhaps emphasize and bring a sort of slightly different perspective on this transformational journey of wholeness. So the first part is about embodying an evolutionary impulse, our universe, our planet, and us. How is it that our entire universe doesn't just exist and evolve as a unified entity? It purposefully exists to evolve. So the whole of this conscious journey of revolution begins with the evolutionary impulse of our universe. And because our entire universe is whole of itself, as Steve mentioned, that evolutionary impulse is also embodied in our planetary home, Gaia. So how is that? And then the third aspect is how the evolutionary impulse is embodied in us. So there are 4 modules in this part, and all of them share this evolutionary impulse. And then the second part is essentially a whole world view, how an emergent cosmology of a living, conscious, evolutionary universe. What is the scientific evidence? And how does it converge with universal wisdom teachings of consciousness, of spirituality, as wholeness? So that's the second 4 modules. The third is about integral paths to our conscious revolution. Because as a student of ancient wisdom, traditionally there's been 3 paths of enlightenment: the path of the sage, which is of understanding; the path of the shaman, the path of experience and the heart; and the path of the seer, the revelatory path. And it seems to me now that we can journey along those 3 paths. We can interweave them so that we can understand, experience, and embody unity awareness. So that's the third part. And the fourth part is our conscious revolution, here and now, and what that means. And this part, again, 4 modules, talks about acting local. What does that mean? Why does it matter? How do we do that? Feeling global. Why does it matter? What do we do? How do we do that? And thinking cosmic. So it takes us with a breath out and a breath back in. Act local, feel global, think cosmic, and then back again. And that's the dance and the journey. So the whole 16 modules are these interweaving ways of all understanding, experiencing, embodying higher consciousness, this conscious revolution. And what it means ultimately, as I invite us to do, is to consider ourselves not just human beings or spiritual beings having a human experience, but as Gaians, as co-evolutionary partners of our beloved planetary home and the entire universe. So, Steve, does that give a summary of it?
Oh, yeah, does it ever? Yeah, we've just gone from A to Z. We crossed the whole alphabet. So you're bringing in cosmology and the whole evolution of cosmology, and you're bringing it back to us as individuals, and you broke it into 4 parts. I mean, wow. So beautiful. We've really got everything here on the table now, Jude. So beautiful. And there's the science and the research in here, and that as Jude has mentioned, isn't what we learned in grade school. As we were, cosmology was not taught. It was Big Bang, this violent, right, explosion, and this universe that's expanding to who knows where. But there's so much research and science here in this last decade, more than that. But this changed that whole story. But most of us still live with that old narrative, and of course that old narrative is violent. It's not this this universe and cosmos in harmony narrative that science is now sharing as true.
Absolutely. And I sometimes describe this as the science of love, because what we're seeing, what is being revealed, what is being evidenced is this wholeness. Everything is in relationship to everything else. Everything matters. Everything belongs. We belong. It really is a science of love. And you say, Steve, the last decade or longer, but I looked at the various discoveries that I speak of and write about in the story of Gaia, and before that, the cosmic hologram. And most of them in the last few years, the last few months in some cases, literally before the books went to press. And for the case of the cosmic hologram, there were 2 major discoveries that were made after it was published in 2017 that I managed to get right at the beginning of the story of Gaia that was published in 2022, a couple of months ago. We're talking about, this is an unfolding story. And but it's all showing it's all in the same direction, the direction of a remembered wholeness.
Right, remembered wholeness, right, where we belong, where we're a part of that wholeness, an inseparable, crucial part of that wholeness. Now, let's do something that will be kind of fun, Jude, because, and thank you, viewers. There are questions coming in, and we will definitely get to your questions here. Deborah and Harry and Carol, there's 3 questions right now in the window. We'll get to those. Thank you, viewers. But let's bring in what we sometimes don't get to, which are the immediate benefits of all of this. I mean, I'm sure people can sense the activism here, living consciously and in communities and out in the world, the things that we want to do as Gaians to really, take good care of our home. But the immediate benefits, in your own home, Jude, and in the work that you do, I mean, pay attention, and I'm sure viewers are, to Jude's mannerism. I mean, she says it's the science of love. Well, she's not saying it's the science of love. It's the science of love. I mean, the immediate benefits. Let's just talk about those here, huh, Jude?
Absolutely. I always love it when I watch photographs or videos of the Dalai Lama and people like Desmond Tutu. They're always laughing. And I realized that the more I went on this journey, the more I laughed. The more joyful I became, the more grateful I became. Every morning when soul rises and I thank, and I'm so grateful for sunrise and moonrise and all the cycles. I just feel more alive. It just helps us feel, in my experience, more alive, more joyful, more grateful. I am really bad because I can't not laugh. And it's really hard for me sometimes to keep a serious face, because I do take life appropriately seriously, but I don't take myself seriously. So that lightens me up. So when the challenges come, I feel more grounded, more able to be flexible, to flow with that river we were talking about earlier, rather than trying to hang on to the bank, because I trust the flow of the river. And there are so many benefits, and my goodness me, there are so many wonderful teachers and sharers of all these benefits. But I would say it's really simple. You know, Einstein once said that the universe is as simple as it can be, but no simpler to embody its purpose, which is the purpose of evolution. And so what I've also really enjoyed, literally enjoyed and been inspired by, is the simple things of life. I value them so much because of this journey that we're all on, that certainly I know Steve and I invite everyone to join us in being on consciously, because there is a deep, deep joy, a profound gratitude, and a immeasurable love that are companions, that are our natural companions on this journey of homecoming.
Oh, so true, so true. And, you know, our homes, Jude was a businesswoman, in fact, one of the most powerful businesswomen in all of Britain back before she did her U-turn into conscious living. I was an entrepreneur, you could even say a serial one, because I started 2 pretty big companies. But oh my goodness, you know, the difference in our homes now, I mean, the loving energy, the sense of the gift, you know, of every moment where you're with your kids and your partner, and even looking out at Gaia each day, the sun coming up, the sun setting, walking in nature, looking out the window, this whole notion of everlasting life, and knowing it never goes, you know, it never ends. This is never ending. This is one of a ginormous number of chapters, right? And how we're contributing, you know, the gifts that we're bringing. And like here, where Barbara Marx Hubbard used to call this joining genius, right? Where here we've got, I've got Jude, and then next week we have another really special guest, and then Andrew Harvey's on the week after that. So where we're bringing all these just phenomenal contributors to conscious living, to our Humanity Stream Plus, these broadcasts that we do each Wednesday. And what a blast that is. So, and I know viewers are feeling into this too. There are many, many immediate benefits. I wanted to just stop though and bring this in, because oftentimes people can go into this notion of, this is a lot of work and we're giving a lot of stuff up, and you know, am I ready really to go to deepen my conscious journey? And the thing is the benefits that come to us individually are so huge and substantial that, of course, why wouldn't we? If we were only doing it for ourselves, we'd do it. But the fact of the matter is as Gaians, you know, on this planet at this time, where we have extreme weather and all of these things going on, we're a part of the whole, and the whole needs our attention. The whole needs our assistance right now. It needs health and healing and well-being. And of course, when we're on the conscious journey, it's all that we can do, because we feel into this note. We're a part of the whole, so we take responsibility. We forge into positive action. These are things that we naturally do when we're on the conscious journey. So, well, let me just bring in some questions here, because
yes,
I want to make
please.
sure that we get to these. So Deborah is in the green room, so she's a Stream Plus member. She says, so joyful to feel with others the joy and hope present in our world. Deepest gratitude to all. So Deborah, thank you for that. Thank you for that comment. So, and Harry says, he goes by Harry the Flying Angel, says, blessings from Sydney, Australia. So big shout out to you, Harry, and thank you for tuning in from Sydney, Australia. So Carol brings in this question. She says, she's on Facebook, and she says, will it take the whole universe to, and then she puts in quotes, to let go of the bank, end quote, to make a difference in this transitory time? So this is Carol's question. Do you want me to read that again, Jude, or did you?
Yeah, would you, Steve? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. She says, will it take the whole universe to let go of the bank, you know, materiality and this whole American dream thing, to make a difference in this transitory time?
Oh, we're such a tiny part of the universe. The universe is good as fine. What I would say is that the entire universe continues to evolve into ever greater levels of complexity. After 13.8 billion years, we're here as human beings, as Gaians, living on Gaia at the bow wave of its potential, of its possibility. So our choices matter. You know, we are at a moment of a collective choice. Do we stay in the old paradigm of the illusion of separation, or do we wake up and remember we're inseparable? And one of the things that we understand from so much evidence and research is it doesn't take everybody, doesn't take 8 billion people to do this, because this is not arithmetic, this is geometric, this is vibrational, and this can be exponential. So I don't know what the tipping point is. Various people have said different things. What I would say is that the more of us that do wake up to remember who we really are, the more opportunity we will have to create what's called a critical tipping point consciousness, to literally shift us into what then becomes a collective shift. Because as a researcher of complex systems, you only need sometimes a very small movement to shift the whole system. And I feel that's where we're at now. This is this is the journey we're on. So all of us on this call, perhaps 1 million people, perhaps 2 million people, but whatever the number is, the more that we do wake up and link and lift up together, synergize our efforts, come together consciously, it means an exponential opportunity for the whole of our collective to change, to shift, to consciously evolve. So the universe is doing what the universe does, but on our planetary home, we are, as its microcosmic co-creators, we matter, our choices matter. So the question is, what are we going to choose now? What are we going to choose now? What am I going to choose now? And I just feel this is such an incredible opportunity for us all. And we've come to a point of unsustainability as a species and as a planetary home. So really, this is where it really matters that we do choose.
Yes, it does really matter that we do choose. It's a really important time, and this is one area where we probably are in agreement with almost everybody on the planet, even if you don't have kids, to see the severe weather patterns getting worse and climate change needing our attention, and the Ukraine war, and I won't go on, but you know the whole wringing hands, wall of worry conversation. There's this very simple way out. Way to create a sustainable and flourishing earth. And so let me even bring in right now Humanity's Team. For those that don't know, we are a 501c3 nonprofit. We're based in the United States. Founded in June 2003, Neil Donald Walsh and myself. So we'll be 20 years old in June of this year. Now we announced in the spring of last year, Changing Humanity's Future, this initiative with Neil Donald Walsh, the Conversations with God Foundation, Humanity's Team. Actually, Jude and many of our partners all over the world are a part of this. Jude came into these last 2 global gatherings we did, one in November, one in December, where we share of our plan to make conscious living pervasive worldwide in 18 years by 2040. And this is not some marketing spend. We absolutely intend to do that. The primary thing that's our strategy, because education is always an important part of social change. It's why right now we're talking about Jude and Andrew's a new free program, a new masterclass, another 16-module masterclass Jude created. Education is always a key part of social change, and this Humanity Stream Plus platform that I've mentioned is at the center of this strategy, where as a nonprofit, we're focused on the opposite of a for-profit. Let's get the price down again. We've dropped the price $200 already a year. It's now $399 a year. and it's $39.99 a month. Compare that in the industry. We're the only nonprofit that's big in transformational education. It's an unbelievable, economic value because it has all of Jude. Jude has 29 programs. We could, Greg Braden's and Nassim Harriman and Bruce Lipton's, and again, hundreds of these incredible thought leaders out in the world have placed their masterclass in transformational education viewing programs on the platform. And it's incredibly economical. You get this into your home. Go and watch just today. We talked about this free module. So anybody can go watch this first free module in our Conscious Revolution. I promise you, you will walk away from that one module that's free with these beautiful tools, gifts that Jude Currivan brings to the first of her 16 modules. And there are other free modules you'll see on the platform as well. It's called A Taste of Humanity Stream Plus. So this is how we intend to get there, by getting this platform translated into all major languages in every region of the world, in every home in the world, because we also, as a nonprofit, we have a one-for-one program, so it's free. We give away one free subscription for every paid subscription. So when you purchase this paid subscription, you're gifting a free subscription to somebody out in the world that's on this conscious journey like us. But even at the economical pricing that we have, they can't afford it. And there are a lot of people that can't afford it. So we give away a free subscription for every paid subscription. So just a little bit about that. Let me get to the next question here. This is from Jack. Oh, by the way, on Changing Humanity's Future, you can go to changinghumanitiesfuture.org, changinghumanitiesfuture.org, and you can read about this initiative. And if you haven't been to the page recently, please do so. This is a really important initiative. And again, thanks to Jude and Neil Donald Walsh, Deborah Poneman, friends all over the world that have come in to support this initiative. Michael Beckwith, we're really making good headway with this. Let me actually also share of a partnership with Jude. Jude is a founder of Whole World View, and we're now joining Whole World View, an incredible collaboration. You've got, I think, 16 or so partners in this organization that's also aimed at creating healing and health and well-being in the world, right, Jude?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the joys, Steve, and for everyone, I talk about us linking up and lifting up. And we can do that, of course, personally with friends and our communities, but also as organizations. How can we synergize our efforts as organizations? So Humanity's team is doing us at Whole World View the great honor of being, just about to become formally partners with us. So we're finding this, and this is really expanding our efforts. Again, this is the whole point, exponentially, because time is of the essence. And how can we reach as many people over these coming few years as possible? And to link up, to lift up, I talk about leveling up and lighting up as well. So within everybody's communities and friendship circles and so much, let's do this. Perhaps let's each of us say, yes, this is the year, this is the time when I'm going to actively make friends with strangers, make friends and co-create increasing levels of relationships and community, because this is the time and this is the invitation and this is what it will need for us to consciously live as Gaians, as a species with our planetary home in these coming years. And, kudos to Steve and all the team at Humanity's team for helping all of us on this journey of homecoming. So thank you, Steve.
And back at you, Jude. Oh, we just love you and your work and your many, many, many contributions to a healed planet. And thank you for just all that your books and seminars and master classes and being here now. So we're just delighted to be partnered with you. So check that out. Our you might share the web address that people can go to learn about this collaboration, Jude.
Sure, it's www.whole, W-H-O-L-E, world, W-O-O-R-L-D, dash view, VIEW.org. And on the home page, when you go to the home page, it says welcome home, because it is a welcome home.
Yes, so check that out, and you'll see a lot more of Jude here with Humanities Team. We're going to actually need to end the program here shortly, because I mentioned she's got another program she's going into right at the top of the hour. But you'll see a lot of Jude Currivan back here with her master classes, with Changing Humanity's Future, all of these things that we're doing. Boy, you know, we're not joking when we share. We're just launching powerfully into 2023. This is going to be a big year. If we use surf metaphor, we're riding a big wave here. And I love the invitation you brought in, Jude, of, hey, let's stretch into this. And you had specific invitations there, you know, in terms of lifting up and lighting up and linking up. And so beautiful. Let's do that. And I know, viewers, that's the reason you're here, is because you're in this. This is your why as well. So let's do this together. Now, I want to just thank everybody. I want to end right on time, so we honor Jude, and she can make this next connection. So Jude, thank you. Thank you so much for being here and your many contributions to an awakened world. And viewers, thank you all in the green room. Thanks for being with us and out on these various websites, Humanities Team and Jude's Facebook site. Thank you all for being with us. Let me also thank my partners and colleagues here. So we've referenced Jim Gray. He's right here in the studio with me. We'll pull the camera back. Or let's see if we've got that working. Here we go. Yeah, so that's me on the couch here. That's Jim Gray over there. So Jim has got the courage to do a live program like this, lead us through a live program from, in this case, Britain and Boulder, Colorado, where we're coming in from. So, and also let me just thank Nanette Kennedy and Dee Meyer, Andy Guski, Garth Catterall, all of my partners and colleagues in Humanities Team that make this program possible. So okay. Viewers, let's do this. Okay, let's make this a delicious, powerful, conscious year where in our homes we're living it, enjoying the deliciousness of conscious living, and then but linking up with this, Jude said, people we don't know, lighting up, lifting up. Let's do this. You know, it's a lot of fun. And hey, as Gaians, you know, Gaia needs our attention. You know, humanity needs our attention. It's our time. Okay, thanks everybody. Love and peace and blessings to all of you, and we'll be back with you here very soon. Take care.